Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sum It Up with the Sumners. I am Katoya, and
Damon.
yes, we are so happy that you guys are here today, and we got some good stuff for you.
We do. We're ready to get into it here today. Talking about trying to how have we been surviving a pandemic, quarantine, right? All of that. I know you guys are hopefully safe at home with your family and loved ones. So we're gonna get into that today. I'm excited about this episode. But before we do, we want to continue to give those shout outs. Again, the support has been fantastic. Please continue to rate and review. We got a chance to just see the love, and it's been amazing. So we want to shout out some more people. So today, for the review, we want to read. We're gonna read. We got to create a system. I'm just gonna be open up. We got to just create a system. If we don't have a system, we're all over the place.
There's just so many reviews. We just don't know what to choose from.
We're gonna read this one here. This is from Sinclair St. Thomas. Appreciate you.
Shout out Sinclair.
There it is. Titled Coupledom. I like that. Is that a real word?
I like that. Yeah, it's intentional.
I see. That's fair. 5 stars. Please. Only 5 stars. Let's get into it here. Have you ever wanted to hear what it sounds like when a beautiful black couple talk life? Well, here it is. Damon and Katoya make me believe that my marriage isn't the only one, or the only crazy one out there.
It's crazy.
Thanks. Appreciate you, Sinclair St. Thomas. That's what we're talking about.
No, you're not the only one. That's
No.
And the fact that you could possibly feel that way means that somebody's not being honest to you. Because life is crazy.
Facts. Especially in 2020 out
This
here.
journey is
Up and down.
wild.
So rate and review. Also, make sure, if you haven't already, please subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Full episodes. Get a chance to see some of the faces that we give each other as we talk about things we didn't know they were going to say. And also, you get the full episodes, man. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. What else?
That's about it. I mean,
That's
I
it.
guess the main thing about in that intro is thank you.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, follow, share.
We
Bam.
forgot one. Patreon.
Oh, that is
we
big.
forgot about. We're working this intro out here. This is real time. Patreon. Please, we would love for you to join us and rock with us on Patreon for exclusive content. Right now, if you're listening to this, you got bonus episode right now ready for you. So check it out. patreon.com. But look, let's get into it. That's all we're
Let's go.
Surviving the pandemic. So I want to just ask you, because I haven't asked you this question going into it. How have you feel we've been doing overall in the pandemic as a couple?
Scale of 1 to 10.
Let's go. Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah. So how have we been doing in the pandemic? I mean, quarantine versus pandemic is a way I'm kind of qualifying this. So quarantine was like, initial shock of life, and then staying at home all day. That was wild and crazy. We survived that. And then now pandemic, but still like actually doing stuff. It's
A little
whole
bit.
new world.
A little doing.
But like doing stuff like work and responsibilities and kids at school.
Yes.
But overall, I would give us a 9 because being a 10 is just kind of
A little much.
I think we've been doing pretty good though.
Okay.
I mean, like somewhere like 8.5 to 9.
Yes.
Just because there's always room for growth.
That's what I had. I had an 8.75. So I feel
Oh,
like we're
look
right.
at you with your 8.75.
Yeah, I didn't want to be. I had a little modesty in there. You understand? A little
Yeah.
humility
I
for
think
the
that's
people.
fair. You can always do better.
Yeah. It's been a lot going on. I mean, when the pandemic, when I really felt it for myself, and then I was on a cruise ship, which that's not where you want to be at the beginning of a pandemic.
Oh my gosh.
That was crazy. I don't know how you were feeling as you were seeing
You
the
do know how I was feeling.
I do know how you were feeling.
I was like, please come home. We'll be okay.
Yes, I wasn't.
You're more valuable than the money you bring.
Yes.
This is scary. Hurry up. And when you come back, I was like, you got quarantine. I don't know what you need to do, but
That's
you're on
true.
this cruise ship, and we don't want none of what you could bring here.
Yes.
So I like made them like put on a bandana for
Yeah.
2 weeks. This is
Yeah.
like in March before that was like common
Right,
stuff.
right.
And I was like, no, it was like late February, early March or something.
It was
like
early March.
Right at
It was
the budding.
early March.
Right.
Early March.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it was a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings.
Yeah, I was working. It was interesting because just there, I saw like the news begin to change and people interact differently on the ship. This is just a little quick one story tangent here. It was like, right, so it happens, it starts kind of building up overseas, then it turns into a pandemic. And I would just remember being on the ship for the last day and a half. People just start not being as out as much, like just in the streets, in the lobby, right on the deck, chilling. People still out, you know what I'm saying? But it just you could feel the mood change. And then when I got off the ship, and I was talking to Katoya, because I won't really talk too much on the ship because they try to get you with the money. The whole airport, just the whole feel was different.
Somber.
It was, yes, it was just like what?
There is a pandemic.
Yeah. It was a fall, and so, but no, overall we got back. She did. She tried to have me in the room as much as possible, walking around with my face covered up. And I was like, what is, like, it was just, we've learned so much. As a couple, we've just kind of had to learn so much about how to figure it out. And I'm sure you have at home as well. And it's been a doozy, though. But I feel like we have done a good job of trying to pivot and maneuver life.
Yeah.
Because this is new.
It is new. And I mean, we assume you may know, we've talked a little bit, but Damon is a comedian, and Damon traveled quite a deal for, work, and part of that was on a cruise. So he wasn't just like on a cruise chilling by himself without us.
I need some time.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he did find value in that some at times, but then also it was for work. So that was a big, kind of part of the income on a monthly basis. Yeah. So that's why he was cruising.
Yeah. And since then we've had, what's it been, 6 months? Yeah. Everybody has been trying to make it these months. Is it 6 months? We're using our fingers now.
Oh my gosh. Like the guy at the bank. That
half a year?
In our life. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Side note.
It has been 6 months.
We got to tell that story really quickly.
Don't tell
We got time. Side note, we were at the bank years ago.
Yeah, years.
Talking to a personal banker at the table. He's got his desk, got 2 comfortable chairs. And we asked him a question. Do you remember the question?
I don't know, something to do with like a time frame.
Something with time frame. And this grown man with a tie.
And a suit. Personal banker.
And a name tag.
Goes
1, 2. He starts counting on his fingers.
So now anytime I need to do that, that's the callback. That is the call. 1, 2. I mean, all he needs to do is go like 3, 4, 5. Just start touching the head. Like, it was embarrassing. It was. I no longer felt that my decisions were safe.
No, we took all of our money out that bank.
Anyway.
Anywho, yes.
Yeah, no, it has. It has been 6 months since March. I mean, we're approaching that 6-month mark. And a lot has taken place, which is why today is what we're discussing is like, how are you surviving the pandemic in your relationship?
Yes.
I mean, essentially everything we say is kind of how to survive your relationship, right? Like ultimately it's a relationship podcast. But pandemic has put a new twist on it. And so that's what we're bringing today. It's like, what does that mean? What does this twist mean? How do you interact? What are some things you realize? And I mean, we've seen, I've seen the struggles. We've had our struggles. I've heard of divorces taking place in the middle of pandemics. I mean, like, that's heavy. It's already a new territory for us all. And then, you got breakups and you got new relationships, and shout out to you new people building in pandemics. All right. I mean, you get to start with a very, very good, I get to know you foundation.
Quite well.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, a lot of marriages are just beginning in the pandemic because they just got married and people are like, whoo! Yeah, like, I mean, there's something real about being side by side with someone or just having more time and less outlets.
That is the, in my opinion, the largest thing about being in a relationship, exclusively, marriage, whatever the case may be for you in the pandemic, especially when quarantine was quarantine.
Yeah.
Like the first 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Like it was not again because so much time that we spend with each other is literally in the same building. And if you know one thing that is amazing about relationships is a little bit of distance, a little bit of space.
Yeah.
All right, Bo, love you. Boom. Head to work. I'm gone for 8 hours. Commute. Come back at 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. The stuff that you typically think you didn't like, and now you're like, I might need 4 or 5 hours away.
And that's gone, right? And depending on your living situation here, whether you say, well, I got my own office, cool, but we still in the same space.
Yeah.
I still gonna see you in the kitchen.
And those children. If you got those.
If your parents, shout out to the parents.
Sweet little people running around who don't understand. I mean, that's kind of been real sweet, I think, in the pandemic. It's just the innocence of children, and then to see them adjust and Evergrace wearing her mask in the car. I'm like, you can breathe now. I was like, oh, whatever. This is just the norm. Mitch like, gosh, why do we keep having to wear these masks? I mean, just the adjustments of children. I mean, in your workspace, which is now home space, which is now everything is like invaded for space at this time, But fortunately, hopefully you guys are feeling that quarantine lift and kind of feeling more of that. How do you exist in the pandemic kind of phase of where we are, where, kids are maybe going to school or masked up somewhere or, at least occupied for a couple hours or something like that.
And I think that's a good piece of like, all right, as America, and I'm going to speak here, I'm not going to speak for you, I'm just speak for myself. America is doing still the most. And so for us, America. we're still taking it very slowly. So how do we continue to not want to kill each other? How do we continue to still keep fun, excitement, intimacy, joy, really at the end of the day? And I think one of it is like just still continue to find ways to be creative with dates and date nights. And just because we're around each other a lot, or at least more than in the old world, right? Back in 2014, in the
one time,
BC, and before Corona. And so now we want to continue to be creative with, how do we spend our time together to still kind of nurture our relationships, still continue to find that spontaneity and that magic. And I've seen a lot of, I've heard specifically, and I've seen via social media, people being very creative with their date nights. Well, and keep it simple. Ain't nobody, money's tight for everybody, whether it's just hanging out at the porch, having some drinks, music. Like, that's one thing to really kind of just have communication and dialogue about. It's like, all right, we want to still continue to, parents and not parents, like, find ways for us to kind of have some intentional time together. And so that's one thing we want to hold on to in the pandemic, is still being creative to date Abu.
Yeah, date. I mean, and of course we're spanning over a course of 6 months, but people have done Zoom double dates and game nights with friends, or what are some ideas? And I mean, these are some things that we've taken place in too.
I saw some couple drive. They got dressed up. Right, so got dolled up. Sometimes just feel good out here because my wife killing it right now. If you see face on fleek,
it's just face
and
a t-shirt and some workout boots,
socks out. But no, they got dressed up.
Yeah,
put on some music.
Yeah,
right? Drove around. Put the sunroof back if you got that, and just kind of enjoy conversation in that.
Yeah,
right?
Just getting out the house. I mean, even that is so true. Just getting ready. Like. My mom, she's like, oh, you just gotta look good. I'm like, what? You just woke up today and like got ready to go nowhere. But I do understand that, because when I do look better, you naturally feel better. It's a classic, look better, feel better type of thing. And, just being intentional in that, getting dressed up or going on a drive or taking a picnic, because outdoors is still available, right? So sitting down, having a picnic, one-on-one time, and actually planning it, like not letting it just happen.
Right.
And that's like going out on your patio. No, tonight is movie night on the patio.
Right.
Maybe you have a one of those screens or something like that. But just kind of being creative and like planning a date, even though it's not that big of a deal, right? As much as Sumners preach communication, we preach making small things big. So no matter what it is, just try to fight for a date night still.
Yes. Making small things big. That's crucial. Whether it's, just cooking together a new cuisine. Like that could just, fun like that. We ain't never had Ethiopian food. Bang, we out here tonight, and just try to mix it up.
Whatever
case
works
may be,
for y'all. Maybe a book club night, we're reading this book, we'll hang out and just wine and book club for those of you who prefer that bookworms type of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just throwing out ideas.
We're throwing it out there.
I will say that we haven't been fantastic in this area.
We can be honest with y'all.
We could be honest with y'all. But it is something that we do definitely see value in.
Yeah. Pre-pandemic, yes, we would agree. Pre-pandemic, that's something that is one of our anchors in our relationship. Yeah. And we can talk about that really more another episode of like date nights and why they're so valuable. But yeah, we kind of we do need to pick up
Yeah.
That growth mindset. Our date nights are going to get better as we move forward with this right here. But yeah, that's one thing for sure. Yeah. As we move on, keep fighting for that time.
And it's ultimately just saying you're spending time together. So whether that be creating a new hobby or a new activity together, we're not green thumb people, but we got a couple plants.
We did.
I'm not going to tell you if they're still living or dying, but I'm just saying we attempted. As a whole entire home, we were like, we got to take care of this plant. This is why we don't have pets. We're just trying to do like humans first, plants.
Something that don't
and that's about it.
Move.
No. And we were not very successful. That's okay. We're not going to give up.
We're not
giving up. So that was like a new something to try. Having the podcast for us is something new to try in the pandemic. Just trying new avenues to connect. And I've said it before, but being on this together gives us something to do together, which is really nice. So whatever that could be for, you and your person, boo, spouse, bae, partner, lover, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it.
But whatever y'all do, just, what are you going to do together and trying to embark on something new?
Yeah, we have been in the pandemic and quarantine. We were outside a lot more, just from biking with kids to walking trails we had never done. Yeah, so that definitely was something that we were able to just have great dialogue with. And just being outside the house, it just changes the element. If we just cramped up in the same house, it feels different. But if we just go outside, take a walk, just go just walk a big circle, go jog, whatever the case may be. Say, I'm not really active. That's cool. Well, go sit. Go sit outside. Just find a bench.
Don't make it complicated.
That's it.
Just do something different and do it together.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what we're trying.
That's what we're trying to say. Another thing that we've been working on during the pandemic is just working on things that we've wanted to. Like Victoria's been rocking out hard in the pound. She's into the group fitness world.
Drumming on them sticks.
So that's been exciting to see. Just see as a husband, just to see her just kind of take it up, level up with it. And this has been a time for us to, if we're honest, try to find the positive, right? Try to find the, if you will, the silver lining in the midst of a lot of chaos going on. So that's just a positive thing.
Yeah, I used to call them quarantine wins, but I guess now it's just like winning. just quarantine ain't quite the same, but like pandemic wins. I don't know what you want to say, but it's really silver linings. Looking at the joys. Damon getting into reading more.
Listen,
taking advantage of audiobooks.
We had an era when we both were bookworms.
It was sweet.
What was that, 2012 through 2014?
Stop giving years. Because that means that's like 6 years ago.
That's not important. What we're saying is we're on the come up, okay? And audiobooks, this is my 20-second plug. Audiobooks is the way to go. Listen to me. Audiobooks is the future, and anything else is the past, okay? I'm all in. I read a book in 5 days.
Yep, just knocked it out.
I haven't done that since Beast from the East and Goosebumps.
Do you really say, I read a book if it's audio? You listened very intensely.
No, that is reading a book. I'm not going to accept that. Not going to allow that too, okay? If I drink a smoothie with cucumbers, I ate my vegetables. That's how I live my life. Same thing, different delivery. No. I don't appreciate your face. Y'all didn't see her face if you're just listening.
You might have heard my noises, though.
It was disrespectful.
I'm indifferent on those. But no, I agree. You still finished something, and you did it. And it was enjoyable, and it was accessible, because that's what's important. I mean, that just makes me think about goals that I just am not achieving right now because they're not really accessible. It doesn't really work well for my schedule. So it's like, how do you reevaluate that? And audiobooks was the solution.
Bang.
You know,
in the shower,
sit and read.
Bang.
Right.
Toilet, bang.
Where else?
Everywhere. I'm not going many places, guys.
Toilet, shower, bed.
That's it. I teach from the bed. I think one of the biggest things too that has been intriguing about quarantine and pandemic as a couple is that, and I hope this is true for you, for better or for worse, as we continue to learn day in and day out more about our partners. Like, it's something that I truly enjoy, as my love language number one is quality time. It's just hanging out with Victoria. And I've just learned.
You be asking random questions.
I do.
What you think about this?
I'm a question guy.
I'm like, stop. I don't feel like, what's your favorite? What's your top 5? What's your best? 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
What's your top 3?
That's it.
I'm like, what? I don't have top 3. I don't have a favorite. I don't have a best. And we are not talking about this right now.
That's me. I'm not going to lie. That's all me.
In the kitchen all day. are you too, what is it? Are you too middle class to eat a hot dog without a hot dog bun and eat it on regular bread?
And she said,
yes.
Listen, team, I didn't know that. I learned this in a pandemic.
Nobody want no hot dog without the hot dog bun.
Nobody wants.
You need that enriched bread on the side.
Enriched.
That's what he say. That's what he say.
Enriched bread. That's what it say on the packaging.
It does. You need that enriched bread, okay?
Nobody wants the weenie on regular bread. The fact that you
can only have a link on a regular bread, but not a little old regular weenie.
I did not know this until the pandemic, and I am distraught. I'm gonna be honest with you, and it just was. So what you have? I don't know if I asked you this one. Would you have a hamburger on regular bread?
So, shout out to Sonic, right? Sonic made these.
The toasters.
Made toaster. Uh-huh. They introduced me to that about many years ago, and I was like, oh, this is acceptable.
So that's why you would rock with that. But ain't no restaurant.
Only is toaster bread.
But ain't no restaurant.
That'd be nice and thick. But that little weak regular bread. First of all, we explained, this is why we need you guys on Patreon. We told y'all, like, we got to step up some things. Like, we're just still talking about, like, Sara Lee bread. We got to get into that fancier bread that people buy. Oh, yeah. And I buy it every now and then. My kids look at it and be like, what is this? What does he sees on this bread? So we don't buy that bread. But anyway. It's just regular bread.
We ain't buying seeded bread.
Just so much bread. Like, that was a big thing, too, during pandemic. Everybody's, like, making breads.
That was a big thing.
Now pumpkins are really cool.
Some of y'all are listening. You got a garden now. You didn't have a garden in 2019. Yep,
seriously. Those are, like, some of the top ones. Gardening. Bread making.
And then a lot of people got into, like, crocheting. I've seen a lot of, like, sewing and stuff. And I was like, look at you out here leveling up.
Yeah, those are them.
People with your tomatoes, your eggplants. Look at you.
Your little bell peppers. I mean, them bell peppers you really gonna eat. I saw somebody with a bell pepper tree, and I was just like, you finna eat 6 bell peppers?
I saw a comic, a millennial comic making squash. I was like, bro, you ain't gonna eat that squash.
Let him eat his squash. People are doing better. Let them do better. You know what? It's the same thing I believe in our children, and I'm like, hey, y'all. I just try to get them to help me cook a lot more. And then they're like, oh, we'll try this Parmesan air fried eggplant. Mm-hmm. And they did.
They did try
Mitchell was like, I want to try that because we made it together.
Bang.
So there is something about when you put the effort into something, it gets, you try it a little bit better.
Sure.
What's true to that?
Is there anything that you've learned about me during the pandemic?
Ooh. What have I learned about you?
Nothing, because I'm the same man day in and day out. That's what I'm trying to tell the people out here.
No, that's not it. Oh. No, that's you said that with such confidence.
I meant
nothing.
Always
same OG. Get out of here, old genuine looking. What have I learned about it? I mean, we've expressed that the love languages are on a high. So I've just learned how much you really do love quality time.
This is true.
Yeah, and that's been really sweet.
Thank you.
It has been. Mm-hmm. And no, it has been. It was an adjustment.
It was an adjustment. It was an adjustment. First 2 months, you was like, listen, fam, we got to talk real quick.
Can I be by myself for a second? I don't know.
No. If you think about it next 10 minutes, let us know. It's all good. It's all good. No sweat here. Now, with that being said, when you talk about quality time, we're not the only 2 people in this house. And so, as parents, that has been an adjustment as well. Because, whether you have 1 kid, 6 kids, it doesn't matter. Your house sounds and looks differently with children than without children. And that's been, it really has. And I'll speak for myself just because traveling had picked up the last 2 years with comedy. And so I especially really took just joy in just having more time with the kids. Like, it was just like, you're gone, you're missing soccer games or this, that, and the other. So that was definitely a big bonus. You get tired, as does anyone, with yelling and fruit snacks on the floor and whatever the case may be. But it has been a thing where it's like, no, this is good. That's the value you can have in parenting.
Oh yeah, it has been good, and I think like that brings us to just understanding to give, and I mean quality time together, but then also making sure that there is space, right? Like all the time that you get in together, these are just ways to put the time in. And then also give the time away, right? There's a balance to it. And I think we had to really figure out, I kind of like to be by myself more. Like, as extroverted as I am, I needed the time to just be like, I am turning off everything. I mean.
And she means everything.
Yeah, and I might not do anything. I just might be sitting.
Mama. Katoya, they trying to call you, Katoya.
I'm in my quiet place right now.
Gone.
I literally say, I'm unavailable right now.
That's what she said.
There's a kid in front of me. I'm unavailable right now.
Take that. Parents, listen. Take that. Adults with no kids, take that as a person.
Please stop.
I'm unavailable.
This is not a good time to talk. I'm unavailable. But Mom, you're right here. I know. But I am unavailable to you right now.
No, that is very true. The level of understanding of like, listen, this is good for us to enjoy this time, whether it's daytime, nighttime, whatever the case may be. But you got to be able to have some still personal time.
Yeah, and
that's really crucial.
Yeah, and whatever you want that to be. Some people are. I do caution too much social media, but if that's digging into a good series, if that's documentaries or books or whatever it is, it's just something for you, right?
Whether you're out there in that garden by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making all those little tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? You don't say tomato?
No one says that.
I think a few people say that.
I don't know where they're from.
You don't say potato? No.
What is this? A kid? Tomato.
You got to have the conversation about balance. That's what we're trying to say. That's really important.
Yeah. And I mean, that's for an individual's sake, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then also, if you are a parent, I know y'all feel it. You're just everybody in your space,
they
right?
All feel it.
You have to put those kids to bed.
Oh, the routines.
You have to keep some type of system and routine for your children so that you can function as an individual or as a team, doing whatever it is you need to do, which means put them to bed, put them in their rooms. I don't care what age they are. There are limits and parameters.
Age don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it don't even matter if they're going to sleep or not. It's just that you are in this space, which is your room that we have afforded. And so, therefore, you need to be in there at this start of time all the way until the next round of time, unless we are doing something that is approved as a family, because it's impossible to breathe when everyone is just on top of each other all day.
Yeah.
So we are firm believers and firm practitioners of that because, you had 9 hours with me already, 12 hours already, whatever it's been.
I'm a firm believer. We're firm believers in the rise up, nap room time, and afternoon, and the bedtime. Those three anchors create our schedule for the day.
Yeah.
With that being said, if I'm with my child, let's just go with a weekend from sun up, right, 7, 8, 9 a.m., all the way to 6, 7, 8 p.m. Baby girl, you ain't got nothing else to say. You don't have nothing else to tell me. Your information, you only know so much.
You know what, sweetie? Just there's a pen and a pad next to you. Just spell it the best you can, and we'll talk about it after 8 a.m. tomorrow.
How about that? Now with that, when they are out, we have been able to find some things, and this is even still, we're still trying to find ways and activities that are new, that are fresh, for us to just enjoy as a family. Like we've said before, I think a few episodes ago, like biking was
hot.
huge. That was a thing. Both of our girls learned how to ride bikes during quarantine.
Yeah.
That was cool. We were able to ride bikes together as a family, see some new trails, things of that nature. So that was really hot. Board games has been king.
Yeah.
That's been a huge thing. We had a huge Guess Who phase. And first off, Guess Who is just funny.
Ooh, and it's hard.
It's hard.
You got white skin.
He a white
red
man.
hair.
He got blue eyes. Is your man black? No, he ain't black. Oh, all right. All the black people got to go.
Well, that was funny because we had to qualify what was black, brown, and white.
Yes.
Because some people are kind of brown, tanish, and no, that's a dark brown black person. This is a tan person.
Do you have a woman? No women. See you, ladies.
All right, let's double check. Now this one looks kind of like it gets kind of.
We need a 2020
We have to classify.
We need a 2020 version.
You'd have to use a lot of qualifiers for 2020 versions.
But that would
no longer be able to be like, is a man or woman? It's a lot.
It's a lot going on, sure.
It's a lot. That'd be actually really interesting. Somebody want to make that. I would enjoy playing 2020 Guess Who.
That'd be funny. That Clue was a hot face. All we're saying is
do something fun.
Do something fun. Maximize the time. That's for sure.
I mean, we had such a good time doing all that, and we still do. It's still something they really want to do. And they take it into their room at nighttime together and play. And the rules are, you can stay in your room. It doesn't really matter. You can have a night light, decent amount of light on, no big light, but you can do what you need. That was preschool. Now the school's in, it's no, you got to shut it down so you can wake up and be successful in the morning. But before that, it was I just need you in your room, not bothering me because we've been together all day. And there's nothing wrong with saying that or feeling that as a parent. Especially if you know that you've truly been as present as you can be during the day.
And that's not the case for everyone. And that's perfectly okay. Yeah. So, if you got to get your time in from 5 to 8, level up during there.
Yeah, do what you need to do.
But I see you all day.
The quality time.
For sure.
Yep.
I think overall, though, as we're in September now and we're getting ready to hopefully ride this out for the remainder of the year, if we can do what we need to do with our mask and our socially distanced behaviors, ladies and gentlemen, is that looking ahead, we've got a couple things coming up. We've got holidays coming up.
I know.
And people are going to want to travel. Yeah. And this, that, and the other. So whatever it is, however long we are as a globe in the pandemic, we've just found that trying to maximize time, specifically as a couple, just have honest conversation about where we are and what we need. Like we always like.
The Sumners are always gonna say communication.
that is an answer on the test.
Communication.
It's crucial for us. We need to make some shirts that say that.
Because it's true. I mean, there was a moment I was talking to some friends. I was like, "Do you have as many conversations with your spouses?" Like, I just feel like me and David are always just ready to sit down and have some conversations. Mm-hmm. Like, but it's helpful because it gets us on the same page. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talking, a lot of processing, and a lot of possible tension with different sides, and coming back to the drawing board or whatever. Call back to conflict. Just kind of processing through things, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? But you have to have the communication because this is uncharted territory now. Like being in the space, not having your outlets. Oh, that was one thing that we didn't mention.
Go ahead,
the new hobbies and ideas. I think we touched on it, but like everyone's looking for a new outlet, right? We don't have the same ones that maybe we once did, hanging out with friends as much, or whatever
going
that
places,
going and doing. Yeah. So let a new adventure, a new hobby pick up for your spouse or whoever you're in a relationship with.
I feel like you're trying to figure out that word.
I still haven't coined that word out. I don't know, for your person.
Boom.
And just let them do what they want to do. Yeah. Reasonably, right? But yeah, that's gonna be important to just kind of do that. Another big heavy hitter would be just chatting with someone else. That was a thing. I felt like we needed to make sure that we were reaching out to other people because there was a lot of internal processing amongst us. But having someone to bounce these emotions or feelings off, because it's a heavy time. It's a lot of unknown things right now. So making sure that there's community around, or they have a brother or a sister, a best friend, a group of people that they can go share those feelings and in whatever way.
Whatever the case may be. Yeah. Laugh with somebody else outside the house.
Your little quarantine circle of people that y'all can just kick back and do whatever, sit on a patio, sit on the porch, sit somewhere with your mask, go smoke your cigars. I don't care what you do. Just go find a group of people for an outlet, because just imagine all of that. I'm not really an aura person, but just all that energy and aura all up in your house of just tension. It's
for the birds.
Yeah, no thank you. I'm ready to go. Just thinking about that. So yeah, those are just some ways that, we're feeling that it would be helpful to kind of survive this season.
Because they've been helpful for us.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they can bring value and helpful for you, for sure.
It's a season, so don't stress yourselves.
There it is.
I know we don't see the end quite yet, but we will get there.
Come on, somebody.
I will get there.
That's the fourth musical cue you had today.
Yeah, I have a lot of those.
She's got a lot.
I'm sorry, guys.
She's got a lot.
That's who I am, if you didn't know.
She's got a lot.
Stop it.
That's good. Listen, I feel like, we did it. Another one.
And another one.
Oh. Number 5.
I didn't even notice these things.
It just flows off, man. Hopefully, again, as always, that you were able to find some value and just enjoyed this. This has been great for us. Again, appreciate the support. Please continue to listen, subscribe, all that jazz. Rate and review. Shout out to Sinclair St. Thomas for the review this week. What else?
We'll see you next week.
See you.